Welcome back to our current episode of Mindful Matters podcast because mindful things, they do matter. They matter because you matter, and because you matter, you are important. You want to make sure that you keep the best ideas and the best strategies in your mind. We love it that you come here and do it with us. Welcome back. It's great to have you. I'm one of your co-hosts, Oresztesz Murgacs. It is a pleasure to have you. And I am here with my friend, my co-host, Richard Haggerty. Welcome, Richard. Good to have you.
Oh, thank you, Oresztesz. It's a real pleasure to be here, and it's a real pleasure to hang out here and, like you say, to share some mindful matters. And I encourage everyone, if you're listening and you haven't already, please follow Oresztesz. Please make sure you subscribe to the Less Anxiety Today channel, because there is some great stuff here, and we really, really want to make sure that what we're doing is going to make a difference for you. So let us know, ask us questions, put stuff in the comments. And Oresztesz, absolute joy. So how are you doing, my friend?
I am doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. There is always room for improvement, and there are always a ton of things to appreciate and enjoy and really feel blessed by having achieved many things, by having generated lots of opportunities and lots of positive things in our little world. So it may just be a good time to just consider, because we like to have our eyes on the things that we would like to achieve, that we would like to improve. Those are the things that stick out to us. But it's also a good thing to just remember all of the things that are good, or at least good enough, in our surroundings, in our lives. What is something that you can be grateful for? What are the many things, probably, that you could be grateful for? You can start with a bar that's very low. You can get started with just saying, hey, I woke up today. And that's already something that billions and billions of people in the history of our planet cannot say anymore. You have at least this day to enjoy, and then you can go a little bit higher and just enjoy that you have, as much as your body enough. You at least have ears if you're listening to this. You probably have eyes if you're watching this. And just all the things that you get to appreciate, and then you can even go higher if you want to. Just appreciate your own achievements, even sometimes just surviving, just having made it through some of the harder times, and not having imploded, not having checked out, and not having been broken by the weight of some of those moments. Those are hats off moments to ourselves.
Very nice. Very nice. It's really interesting, Oresztesz, because I've been, I think I sort of maybe mentioned it very briefly last time, but I've kind of started a very kind of inspired by someone else, looking for as another way of looking at gratitude, which is the things that I would like to have more of in my life, to start seeing everywhere the things that are already here and are happening as signs that I'm moving in that direction. And it's another flavor of gratitude, because even as you were saying that there, I was looking at my beautiful microphone here that I love, my Blue Yeti. I was looking at the garden, which we didn't used to have here, but it was 3 tons of soil, back 4 eventually, and then the patio. And I had this big long list of things to get ready for the summer, but I painted the fence now. I painted the balcony, needs another coat. And there's only like a couple of things left to do to get it really ready out there. Well, apart from all the plants in the garden and to sand the chairs and paint them. But when you stop and appreciate all the things you have done, all the things that are working, it's pretty good. It's a pretty it's really nice to do that. In fact, in some ways, it's probably the most important thing because otherwise, you could spend your life dissatisfied that you haven't lived up to some ideal inside your mind. And that would be a terrible waste, especially when there's so many things. We're in the UK here now, we've got a sunny day, Oresztesz, yeah? Right? That is something to be grateful for. Sun is out.
Nice.
I'm going to be going out for a run later. And I do think that the power in this, for all the people I know who have moved along with their lives and are doing well financially, should we say, but also in other areas, they do generally have this ability to recognize the progress, recognize what's working, appreciate their friends, appreciate their networks, and appreciate themselves. Not in a overjoyed, but in a nice balanced way for the contribution that they bring.
Wonderful, wonderful. And it this is a really interesting thing. It just jumped out at me from what you just said, Richard. And that is, I had a sense. I know that this is not an issue that you have, but it's still jumped out at me for a moment, which is when you mentioned that people are doing well financially. And
Mhm.
then just adding on to that, yeah, but in other ways too, almost as if there was just this tiny kind of excuse to the concept of yeah, well, finance, that's not really everything.
Uh,
And
uh,
I
for
have a
sure.
sense that this is something that this concept of, yeah, well, finances aren't really everything. This, on the one hand, it's a correct idea to add. It's important to take care of yourself in every other way. But I do feel that there is this kind of negative bias, this negative attachment to having money, and
Yeah. Now,
yeah,
I know I can certainly see it. Now, in this case, the reason I mentioned there is financially well and the other stuff. It's just that I know a lot of people. I've seen examples of people who have a lot of money and are unhealthy and don't have good relationships. And what I'm really loving is, like, for me to see, I mean, I think the most important thing is to feel happy inside yourself and be as happy as you can wherever you're at, whilst working towards wherever you want to go. But I've been really buoyed by the examples I've found of people who are wealthy and have, an active role in their community, and who, are happy inside themselves and good relationships. That to me is like that's sort of like the jackpot. And absolutely, look, money is completely neutral, and there's no, whilst in the popular sort of culture, there's a lot of kind of things around, like Scrooge, or the people who have money, that kind of, that they somehow take that from other people, that there's something bad about it. And absolutely not. You can, that whilst there are people who are, there are paradigms in the newspapers about greedy kind of, corporate companies. The reality is there are lots of people who just add value and just get good at putting the systems together and adding value to lots of people, and and they become abundant through it. And where they're doing that, and they're very loved, and they are warm, friendly, happy people, it brings me great joy to see that, because I think it's a real positive aspiration for us. I think it's a positive aspiration for our children.
absolutely, absolutely. And I really like your your strategy there that you mentioned. I think it was you mentioned at the end of our last episode as well. The idea of getting having your concept of what you would like to achieve, and then noticing everything around you as if that was proof that it is actually already happening, which then we understand is going to continue to fuel your actions towards actually making your environment become more and more of a proof that it's actually happening, because it's actually happening, and then because it's happening it becomes more motivating, and then you do more of it, so it just becomes this virtuous cycle. uh, Now let's try to deconstruct this strategy because I find this to be very inspiring and very positive. Tell me if I'm getting this right. What I feel like that you want to have in your mind is, first of all, the outcome. You want to know what it is that you're trying to achieve, what it is, who it is that that you wish to become, what are the things that you would like to have, what are the things that you would be in that outcome you would be doing, and just in general, how would you feel when you get there, and who would be the kind of person that you are in that kind of a future. So that would be my first step, my guess.
Yep.
Second step would be to be able to use a combination. I'd say this is an easy two-step model. The second step is noticing the things around you, and in those things, you kind of understand that the things around you that are showing up, those are proof that you are on your way to this. And I say two parts because I think it needs the appreciation mindset that we talked about, the idea of noticing the good things, appreciating the good things, taking a look at, hey, you know what? If I could also afford this microphone, that means that I have invested enough of my energy to be able to afford something that's not just the integrated microphone in my laptop, which has
Yep.
serves me better and it's nice. And I
Yep.
decided that having good quality sound for my listeners is something important to me. Let's do this. Let's keep this. Let's make it part of one of my acquisitions. That means that I am the kind of person that I want to become. And this also requires logic. So what I really like is that I'm making up a reason to feel the appreciation and to feel the motivation. So it's kind of a combination of the two. On the one hand, I'm looking around with the expectation to find something, which is more of an unconscious, more of a visceral response to the world. And I'm also constructing the logic of why I don't know why my sand timer is actually proof that I am on my way.
Yes.
And then step three, profit.
Well, I think that step three is that deeper appreciation for it to like feed back into the cycle. And you're exactly right, Oresztesz. And this has been lovely. I mean, I can give you a couple of brief examples of like you reminded me of a famous study where they split people into sort of two groups. They were working in hotels. They were the hotel cleaning staff, and half of them, they said, if you change your bedspreads, that's 10 calories. If you hoover, if you vacuum the room, maybe you're going to burn 20 calories. So they gave them a list. They simply just went through and told them this activity equals these calories. That was it. All right. Now they leave them for 10 weeks or whatever. They come back at the end. What happens? That group that knew about the calories lost a ton of weight on average. The other group didn't. They were doing the same activities. All right, it's always stuck with me. Really, really,
Huh.
really interesting. Really, one of those really interesting studies. And I think there is something that the way that the body and the mind responds. That this has always been on my mind. That we know that faith, or what I would call the placebo effect, or the confirmation bias, that's really what we want to shift to. It's what we help as coaches, as hypnotists. We help people adjust their mindsets from here we are to somewhere different. And I was really curious. I've always been curious about how you can do this for yourself. And one of the kind of the overall spirit with this is have a little bit of fun and make up those reasons at the beginning. So let's say you want to lose some weight. You can say, you know what? I ate an apple for lunch. That must mean I'm becoming healthier and losing weight. Or I've looked in the mirror and smiled. I probably used up a calorie or two to just stand here and smile. And seeing this smile on my face feels so good. yeah, I get this feeling that I'm absolutely able to do this, or I've seen this lovely top that I think would look really nice on me in the shop. Yeah, must mean I'm becoming the kind of person who can wear that. And it doesn't matter, you can go as small and as tenuous as you want at the beginning. But you can create that logic in whatever way that you want, just so that you exercise the root, you're kind of exercising your mind and training it in the beginning, the logic side, so that eventually the emotional side will just feel it. It will become a habit. You'll train yourself much more quickly, by the way, than you would think. You would, like in my mind, I'd think, well, this is going to take some time. Last week, or very recently, I said to myself, I do a lot of stuff at home. I want to go and meet people. It sounds like okay. I want to expand my social kind of like stuff. I really want to do that. And then I was like, well, I'm I'm meeting my friends on Zoom today. Must mean I'm a social person. I'm going to the conference soon. Must mean I'm the kind of person who loves spending time with people. When at the weekend I
Mhm.
did a run and I went with people afterwards to the cafe for a coffee. I'm like, yeah, I must be the kind of person who really enjoys chatting with people. I'm chatting with people there. And I said to my wife, let's go out for a walk where we did the run today. It's really nice. You'll like it. And I said, I feel like I know everyone in this village already. I'm walking down the hill and somebody's cycling up. They stop. They go, hey, Richard, how are you? We have a chat. Get on the bottom of the hill. The guy stops his car and reverses back. Hello, how you doing, Richard? Introduce him to Susan. We met his son. And all the time in my mind, I'm like, every time, this is probably the third time, every time something happens, I go, yeah, you see, this is another sign that I am
Hmm.
moving in this direction, that this is happening more and more now. And I know I'm training myself to notice and appreciate those things and linger on them long enough for it to become an absolute part of me. And this is I honestly, as techniques go and as things go, it's about as simple and easy and fun as you can get around this. And you can really, really enjoy it. You can start using it straight away.
Nice, nice. Now, I'm listening to you, Richard, but at the same time, what I'm not hearing is this stressed out, tense thinking. And I will give you a few examples. There is this book that I loved about helping parents learn the better responses to interacting with their kids, and they do give you the negative examples. So I'm going to give you the negative example of these thinking, just so that you notice and you know when to switch over to the new
Mhm.
kind of track inside your mind, and which is just this stressed out thing. No, I must lose weight. I need to check the calories and everything. I need to be stressed out. Why haven't I achieved this yet? Why just these are the thoughts. Whenever you're asking any why in your mind about a negative thing, your mind is going to come up with answers. Even if you don't hear them, you'll feel bad. Like, why haven't I done this yet? Even if you can't consciously answer it, your brain is going to keep looking for answers, and it's just going to, it absolutely the wrong direction to send your brain. What Richard is describing, what we are telling you to do, if you want to change, you're absolutely welcome to stay exactly how you are. If that's that's uh, if that's what you choose to do, if you do want to change, then catch these thoughts. As soon as you start noticing, as soon as you find yourself thinking them, catch those thoughts and double check that you know how you'd like to be, and then find proof around you in everything, in the things that are around you, in the things that you're doing, in the in the opportunities that arise, in the way people are responding to you, in the way you look at yourself in the mirror, in everything. And then you send your mind exactly in the direction where you want it to be. When everything is proof. I mean, imagine just when if you're lucky enough to have this really good, huge dream that probably started out as a child, probably started out with an early connection to, oh, this would be so good. I'm so interested in this. I'd love to be like that. And then anything that you did as a child would be like, you would probably, I don't know, if it was a cartoon character, you would probably love to dress up as that character. You'd love to take on the sayings of that character, of that personality. You would carry yourself like that. And then you are creating proof that you are like that. And it's incredibly powerful. It's motivating. Just imagine if you were that motivated right now about your project, about the things that you want to do today. How much more would you have advanced if you were just as enthusiastic as a child can be? This is where you want to go. This is how you want to structure your thoughts. Everything is proof that you are on your way. Everything around you is just feedback, and it's positive feedback telling you how to do things. In fact, one thing that we have mentioned before, even failure, even when things don't work out, then even in failure, there is feedback for you on how to be more like the person that you want to be. Even if something doesn't work out, I mean, how many successful people haven't you heard in their stories? If their stories actually belong to them, if it's not inheritance or if it's not, something that they didn't really have much to do with, there will always be stories of failures every single time. And of course, there will be ways on how they overcame that, but there will always be stories of stumbles and sometimes really bad moments as well. So even failure is proof that you are on your way.
Very nice, very nice. Absolutely, Oresztesz. And look, you can scale this up or down as you want. I would say what's really nice at the beginning is pick something fun, like socializing or something small. And then, whatever anyone says to you, or the way somebody looks at you, someone just looked at me over the street and then looked away. I probably caught their eye because I'm looking quite good at the moment because I've been exercising. Means I'm heading the direction I want. So you can introduce that in yourself in a positive way, which is to give yourself that meaning, and you can scale it right the way up to, I trust that things work out for the best. I trust there's a flow to life and everything's working out okay. And then when something doesn't, a mistake happens or something doesn't go the way you want, you still have a kind of more playful, fun attitude of like, oh, okay, everything's still working out. I don't know how, but I know things are working out. I know there's something else will present itself. There'll be a solution to this. Something else will happen. I can't see it just at the moment, but I know it's going to work out. All right. And that's I think when you can start scaling it up at that level, that's when a lot of the stress will can go away. We're not talking obviously about not taking action to doing the things that you want, but there's a difference between doing lots of things with a mindset that this is hard and I'm not quite getting that, or just having a very open and relaxed mind where you're like, there's lots of opportunities here. Oh, that one's a sign, I'm going to try, I like that one. And I've done this now, and I'm the kind of person who notices opportunities and acts on them. And this is a really nice, or I'm the kind of person who's quite patient and willing to learn from them, and this can make it a lot more enjoyable to engage with the kinds of things that you want. And I think one of the things it will do is it conserves a lot of energy, a lot of mental or nervous or physical energy. You're simply conserving your energy. You're not wasting it by worrying about things. You're developing a much more kind of sort of calm and relaxed mindset towards things. So Yeah, absolutely. It strikes me that it's fun and it's very different. I mean, it's very different from um, a lot of typical ways of thinking.
Right. Absolutely. Ah, I love just this general sense of looking at things from a more positive sense, and being able to connect and making sure that your every effort is appreciated. Every result is used as feedback for proof to your mind to make sure that you are that you continue on this path. And we have talked about this theme before, yet it just seems to be so powerful and so useful that
Mhm.
I think it absolutely deserves repetition and making sure that it is really seated well within yourself, making sure that you are actually noticing the good things about you, the good things around you, and the good things in front of you on the screen, where two kind coaches keep showing up for you and try to set things up for to make sure that your life just becomes that much nicer, easier, smoother. So I would really like to thank you for sticking around today and making sure that you stayed till the end. It is lovely to have you. And I would like to ask you to make sure that you subscribe. If you like this video, make sure you click the like button. Also, you might share it with someone who would really gain a lot of benefit from looking at life in a more positive way. Even if it's just this much of improving their attitude about life, about their way of looking at things, it is going to be a win for everyone that loves them, and especially you if you choose to share the video with them. And it's going to be a big win for us if we see that things are actually improving by these podcasts that we put out there. So thank you so much. It's been a great pleasure, and I hope to look. I look forward to seeing you on our next episode.
Thank you.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.